Thunder GM Sam Presti called Russell Westbrook the most important player in Thunder history. A little shade there from Mr. Durant. Westbrook left the Thunder as the team's all-time leading scorer, all-time leading assist guy, rebounder, and steals. The loss of Westbrook and Paul George has really left the team in a state of rebuilding with loads of young talent, draft picks, and of course Chris Paul, who we'll discuss shortly. Royce, how are Thunder fans handling the loss of Russ and PG-13?
You know, I think, Brian, that it's kind of gone in phases. Initially, there was kind of the shock and heartbreak. Obviously, the Paul George trade came as a complete surprise to everybody, was completely out of left field. The Westbrook trade had a little bit more of a build-up to it. People understood that there was most likely something coming there. So kind of that process of rationalizing and kind of stepping back and bargaining with yourself took
highlights are fantastic.
Place.
I'm sorry.
No, he's the best YouTube mix guy there is by far. But I think that they've kind of gone through that phase, and I think right now, Brian, what's sort of they're in the phase of is kind of the FOMO phase. While everybody's talking about training camps and what teams are going to look like in the Western Conference, and we're all talking about how wide open it feels. The Warriors are not the Warriors anymore. Who's really the favorite? There's 5, 6, 7, 8 teams that can compete, and the Thunder would have been in that group with Paul George and Russell Westbrook.
For a
decade. And they have been, and they still would have been, even with the disappointments of last year, and now they're not.
Yeah.
And I think that is, it's hard for fan bases to not live in a year-by-year nature. And I think the Thunder fan base is looking at this upcoming season and saying, we're going to be left out. We're not in that conversation, and this is an all-new experience. You know, the team had a bad year the first year where they started 3-29, but nobody cared. It was all about seeing Kobe Bryant come to Oklahoma City and play a professional basketball game. That's what mattered. This is the first time to step back and see a team that's, one, not going to be as competitive and also not as exciting. You know, I think that's something else people took for granted. Russell Westbrook is an exciting player. These highlights are ridiculous. There's something to write about. There's something to talk about.
And Paul George had maybe the best year of his career last year.
Right.
Let's point that out.
This is not going to be as an exciting a team, and I think that's going to be an adjustment.
How dare you say that about Danilo Gallinari?
And you know, it's really a test for a small market fan base. Like you said, when they first got there was the novelty of having an NBA franchise, the excitement on that, and then they had these two dynamic, really entertaining young stars, you know, plus James Harden. So they were kind of very early on, you know, that it team, kind of the team with all the buzz, and then a decade of being, you know, some level of contender. This is the first real test for kind of the passion and enthusiasm of that fan base. But you know, the good thing though, Royce, is, you know, there's not a whole lot to do in Oklahoma City outside of going to Thunder games, because
that's not untrue.
Because I mean,
it is a growing city.
What about
now.
Lake Heifer?
Yeah, you got Lake Hefner, you got Bricktown.
Hefner. Sorry.
Yeah.
Bricktown. Shout out to the Pink
thing. I want to
Parrot.
say this. You know, Sam Presti made those great trades, and the list of assets that he has acquired is terrific. I mean, just look. Here's the list right there. But two things I'm going to say about this. Number one, even though that trade was historically amazing, it's getting the players that's the hard part. Trading the players away, I can do it. Not as well as Sam, but I can do it. The other thing is, and you guys have sort of touched on this, the 2024 first-round draft pick won't be in the box score. You know, this is one of the things that, you know, sort of old-school basketball executives say. How many points did Cap Space score last night? You know, and so this frame is going to be what the Thunder. I mean, the Thunder might as well put this on the cover of their media guide. Do teams still do that?
Yeah, I mean, can you want to hang that as a banner in the arena and say we won the Paul George trade with all the? I mean, it doesn't win you basketball.
Let's workshop that. That might not be the worst idea in the world.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.